Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And allow me to begin this video by going back last week. Last week, Morara Kebaso was arrested at his offices. His phones and laptops were taken away. And I remember explaining to you guys on this particular platform that Morara was not going to be the same again after that particular arrest, because the system wanted to achieve certain objectives through that arrest. We all saw what happened to Morara Kebaso at Bomas of Kenya when he was attacked by ODM goods. Those were by design. And of course, before the arrest of Morara Kebaso, he had attended some event. I think it must have been Meru or Tharaka Nithi. On his way back, he was involved in some accident. On this platform, I offered my unsolicited advice to Morara. And I remember advising Morara that that accident was not an accident. It was well planned. And I hope that Morara took the unsolicited advice I offered to him. So today I was not surprised when I went to Twitter and I saw a post of Morara talking of a mole. I decided to listen to that clip, and it's going to form the basis of this analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, Morara has informed the entire nation that there is a mole amongst his team. For those who follow this channel, one of the things I advised Morara was that the government had identified him. And because of the way he was operating, the government was definitely going to plant their agents in Morara's team. And of course, that office where Morara operates from, that office, the government is listening to whatever is doing. The government is watching whatever is doing in that office. So in this video, I want us to talk about that mole in Morara's office. First of all, let us listen to Morara Kebaso.
Now, the other truth is that in my team, the NIS placed a mole a long time ago. You know, kweli. I have a mole on my team. Because when I got an accident in Embo, for me, nilikataza Wakenya, no, don't speculate. Nilikataza Wakenya, hapana, mwache kusema your accident was planned. Accidents happen and this has happened. But later, I realized Kenyans were not wrong to be paranoid or to be suspicious. Kenyans were actually right to be suspicious, and I was wrong not to be suspicious. Because the car that did an accident was not owned by an individual, it's owned by a company. And when you search the CR12 for that company in the register of companies and you check the directors, it's a dead end. The driver is somebody we've looked for, and we've not found him to date. Gari hata iko huko inaitwa ni Mukuruini police station. What is that place? Yes. To date, we've not found the driver. Yeah. Now, when I was arrested, there's a call that was made from this office around this building. And that call was made to DCI that I'm here. Somebody was called here, akaulizwa boss ako aliposema ako, that person called DCI. When DCI came to this office for an arrest, they didn't guess. They didn't look for my office. Remember, this compound is so big with so many offices. But they didn't look for my office. They came straight to my office as if they already had the plan and layout of the building. When bombers happened, okay, when I was arrested, this mole was not there. So whenever bad things happen, hakuangi anywhere near. Bombers, this person is a very close person in my team and should have been at Bomas, because kama naenda Bomas na team yangu imenijoin, mbona yeye ana miss na kwake ni karibu na Bomas? Mbona alikuja huku kwa ofisi mahali siko badala aende Bomas mahali ni karibu na hata mahali anaishi. So the NIS placed a person in my team a long time ago. When you research this person's history, you are not able to know which primary school they went to, secondary school. They wiped their profile clean. And the best way to hoodwink Kenyans has been, this person pretends, to criticize the government, to say bad things, to expose projects so that we can trust this person. There's been an attempt to poison my food, and I'm thankful to God that it didn't happen. Na kama singejua that we have a mall, I think by now I would be dead. But I'm grateful to God and to the various Kenyans who've been sending me information, telling me be careful about this person. And I have now become very serious about my security. I now have an advanced intelligence team that goes to the ground before I go to a public event and does, just checking what is the feeling among, For example, in Bomas, I walked into a public event which was organized by ODM and which people had been mobilized and paid money through in buses, and where there were goons paid waiting for me because I had said I'm going to Bomas. I've never been attacked anywhere in Kenya because I've never said I'm going to this place. Sijai sema leo naenda Embu, ama leo naenda Githurai, ama leo naenda Kitengela, ama leo naenda Molot Bomet. I've never said it. Hata nikisemanga nasemanga tu I'll be in Rift Valley generally. But because these people knew I'm specifically coming to, KICC, which later turned to Bomas, they planned very well.
So in this video, I want to reveal to you guys the role of that mall. And Morara will not be able to identify that mall anytime soon. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also take this opportunity to introduce you guys to Lemfi. Lemfi is a mobile money app for users in the UK, Canada, and the United States of America to send money back to Kenya. They offer the best exchange rates, and the money will be delivered instantly into your M-Pesa account, Airtel Money account, and of course, if you want, directly into your bank account. You can use the link in the pinned comment to download the app. Ladies and gentlemen, let us dive in. I want us to take a walk to one of my videos sometime back when Morara started his activities and when he started receiving donations and my unsolicited advice. I just want to remind you of the 4 things I advised Morara to be very careful about. The first thing I advised Morara to be very careful about is the gift he was receiving from everyone. There is nobody in the world with money than the government. So if you want support, like for example, I normally receive some coffee from some of you guys here, and I really appreciate so much. Like for example, the guy you are seeing his name down there sent me coffee yesterday, 2 cups of coffee yesterday, and I really appreciate. The government of Kenya can decide to put an offer on the table for me, an offer that I might not even resist. So, which means when it comes to price tag, the government is actually the highest bidder. So the moment Kenya started supporting Morara through donations, he needed to be very careful with the kind of donation he's receiving. For example, who donated that house to him? I also listened to Morara Kebaso talking of the vehicle he bought, that someone sold the vehicle to him at 1.2 million. Of course, just okay. But he must be very careful with the gift. The government might realize, okay, this guy, this is the need. So they'll be able to solve that need. So that if he wants to go to Tarakanid, if he wants to go to the farthest end of the country, they'll be able to facilitate even without him knowing. And they'll make someone available. Someone will be donating those things and will form part of the team. I remember explaining to you here what happened to us at Okoa, Kenya, where I was working and was in charge of certain operations. The government infiltrated us. I've always told you, even on this platform, there's a time I received some offers. Yeah, and I knew they were from government. There's a time at the peak of the campaign, someone, a white man, called me and he was trying to come up with a very brilliant idea on how to scale up, yeah, this channel, make it the biggest, and that he was willing. But deep down, because this was a white guy, but he was understanding a lot of Kenyan politics. So I knew he was part of the team which had been hired by William Ruto to manage their campaigns. So the gift Morara is receiving, he must be very careful. There are Kenyans who are willing to offer 50 bob, 100 bob, 1,000, 200. You know, they do that here. In fact, you can do it even right now. They do that, but very careful. Number two, Morara also need a team. And that's where the system normally gets in. You must have a team. How do you identify a team? Because these people, these malls, they know a way, they have a way of penetrating. They're well educated, and it's one of their roles. Yeah. So in most cases, you'll have a team. For example, when you're working at Okoa, Kenya, you know, we used to have WhatsApp groups coming down, up. I mean, coming from the ground, yeah, going up, going up, going up. Up to a certain point, you think you guys are the last lot. Kumbe, there is another layer up on top of you guys. Then there's another layer, so that at the end of the day, maybe there's only 2 or 3 individuals who are making decisions. So Morara should be able to, by now, know this guy is honest, this one, no, I'm suspecting this, so that the team must be lean. Because at the end of the day, for him to succeed, he will have to create networks. Mpaka kwa grassroots. Pale village in Nyakache should have his people. Pale wapi. But in most cases, those are where these guys will be targeting him. So he must figure out that, okay, I know I'll be operating with the malls, but they should not know how I operate. He must also hire experts. The advantage of experts is that an expert will come to you, like for example, they advise Morara that for security reasons, for your security, let me just try to demonstrate. For your security, we'll need 5 people. These 5 people, 2 of them will be with you in your car every moment. 3 will be in the chase car. And out of these 5, you also need an advisor, security advisor. You'll also need a security advisor who will sometimes just be in that car to monitor the situation. So the work of the advisor will just to advise. So some of this security team, as much as there are 5, 2 of them are the only people who will know whatever is happening. But 1 will be able to know that in case this happens, this is the vehicle you are entering. In case you want to leave the scene, this is what. So you must have experts, because experts will be able to provide that expert advice, communications, all those other kind of things. Morara must also be able to learn to share very limited information. In fact, he can use decoys sometimes. I liked when he began, for example, when Ruto was in Kisumu, Ruto left. The next day, he was in the same spot in Kisumu. So by the time he was posting, very few people knew he had gone there. I remember when I was still involved in ODM activities, and in most cases it would be advanced team. Nobody would even know. I remember at some point when we had the by-election in Malindi. You remember the by-election in Malindi in 2014, huh? These guys would even send us to go to those rallies of, was it Jubilee at that time? So we would go to those rallies, sisi tumenyamaza tu hivi, we just recording, monitoring, mingling with the people, hearing what people are getting. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the kind of information you share, very important. So he should be able to share very limited information, especially in that his office. Very limited. But let us now figure out the role. Why would the government invest in planting a mole in Morara's team? Again, before we proceed, allow me to take this opportunity to thank the following people, especially that gentleman from Turkana, for the coffee which he sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. A cup of coffee only goes for 200 shillings, but you can do more. Ladies and gentlemen, why would the government plant a mole in Morara's team? Number one, they want to understand his mode of operation. How is Morara operating? From Monday to Friday. When he wakes up in the morning on a Monday, what does he do? On a Tuesday, what does he do? Which specific days does he come to the office? How many times in a week is he holding meetings in office? What is the structure of those meetings? How is he disseminating the information to the masses? Once they understand his mode of operation, then they can easily manage him. In fact, that's exactly what happened to him when he was involved in that accident. These guys had known he was going to address this, blah, 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 blah. That's number one. They want to know his mode of operation. Number two, they are also keen on understanding the donors, the major donors. And I want you guys to take this to the bank. If the government, through their proxies, did not donate that house, that office to Morara, the person who donated that office, they are already narrowing down to him. Who is he? Why did he donate the office? What is his intention? Is he paying taxes? Is he doing this? What is his intention? So they want to narrow down. Because he's meeting these guys, one of them is a mole. There are 6 people or 10 people, one of them is a mole. They are planning. You never know. Maybe this guy even has a recorder relaying whatever is being discussed there. So we want to go to this place to do this. How are you getting funds? So Morara will explain, oh, you know, so-and-so has agreed to donate for us 2-day accommodation. So-and-so has decided he's going to, so they'll be taking notes. Within a month, they shall have already gathered the database. So they'll be able to know his sources, the major donors. So that you'll just wake up one day, mwenye alimpea ofisi amesema, yeah, he wants now to come back from the United States of America to start staying in his office. So the guy can now go and start looking for another office. Number 3, his networks. And that's again where they are going to deal with Morara ruthlessly. I just wish I had a notebook. Let me also demonstrate that. I wish I had a paper. Okay, let me just use this to demonstrate, okay? Hope you are seeing it. You see, for Morara, he's the national. So we have Morara here. Down here, Morara has his team. Maybe we call them the executive. Below the executive, he will come up with a team, county. Maybe from the county, he will also have another team down here, constituency. Maybe coordinator or blah, blah. Then beyond the coordinator, beyond the constituency, maybe ward, or maybe village. People there. Now, if the government has penetrated this one here, the national, do you think there's anything that will stop them from penetrating here, penetrating here, penetrating here, penetrating? Which means, in short, Morara will be working for the government without knowing. He will create a network. The government will penetrate that network at the right time. Let me give you a story. In 2017, Raila Odinga hired some people to manage for him his communication. We are very clear that those people were actually moles. Nobody listened to us. A few days to the election, these guys started convincing us in the office that, you know, if we lose election, we just need to accept. We just need to start preparing our people that if you see the elections is going that direction. That's when those who hired them, like Makwiny Odinga, that's why sometimes I'm very bitter with her, started thinking that, okay, kumbe you guys were right. So they were kicked out. But 2 days to the elections, these guys had served the campaign at the highest level in terms of communication. So the government would want to penetrate that esteem so that at the end of the day, they'll start misleading him. That's why they are planting them on. Number 4, they also want to know who is feeding Morara with classified information. Remember this gentleman called Nelson Amenya, the whistleblower in the Adani. He's out of the country. The government is keenly trying to figure out who is giving him information. Now, what about Morara who is here? They want to know who is giving him this information, who is giving him this classified information. They can only do that by penetrating. By penetrating, it means Morara will be free with them. At some point, will be free. Then you tell them, okay, you know, so and so, I got this information about Adani from so and so. You know, these guys will just be taking notes. Then those guys will be hunted like antelopes. And lastly, the main intention is actually to create division. That's why they have the modes. How do they create division? Trust. The moment Morara got out of the office and addressed the media and told the media that you have modes, that's division already. Trust amongst the team. Because at the end of the day, a wrong person is going to be accused. At the end of the day, a wrong person is going to be accused. That's going to be the end of this group. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. By the way, by the time of doing this video, I was following up on, I was listening to Rigathi, and that analysis is coming. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow morning. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.